Welcome everybody to our fifth webinar that we've been hosting at Hold. And this webinar is extremely exciting for us. We are talking about the new trend of urban co-living. And we have a very special guest, Shay, Am-Shalem, the founder of Communit co-living in Israel. He is part of a duo, a dynamic duo, and our new partners in an amazing project we are launching in Downtown Haifa. And today in our webinar, we're going to talk a little bit more about the concept of urban co-living. We're going to get a bit more background from Shay about this trend in Israel, this trend around the world. And then we're going to speak to Julia Nathan, Managing Director of Hold Real Estate, to find out more about the opportunity for investors to get involved. So without further ado, Shay, hi, how are you? And welcome to our webinar this morning. We are very excited to have you on board. And I want to just give a little bit of a background on you so that we can give some context into who you are. So this I took off your website, actually. Eitan, Serber, and Shay Am-Shalem met about a decade ago while earning their master's degree in urban planning at the Technion. During their studies, they began to develop ideas for innovative residential living model. Upon graduation, they gained professional experience. Eitan served as head of planning of the Urban Renewal, whereas Shay served as project manager. In 2017, you turned your dream into a reality and established a partnership to create Communit. Tell us a little bit more about how you came into this line of work.
Hey, good to be here. I'm also very excited. I think it's one of the things I'm so proud that we're doing, because it has really special background, special story about it, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you. Our background, well, just like you said, we met in the Technion on our urban planning studies, and of course, it's in Haifa. This is the city we love so much. This is the city we work over a decade now. And while studying in Haifa and walking through the streets, and there's a lot of old buildings there. And we were looking at the building, and we saw the neglected yards, and we see so many people that lives there, and they have the sense of community, because Haifa and especially Ada and downtown, there's a lot of people that are aiming for a sense of community and aiming to meet people. And we said to ourselves, it's like a market failure. It doesn't make any sense, because there's so many owners in the building, and nobody is picking up this old thing to get the people together. So sometimes they will have a roof, but nothing happens, and it's neglected, and they have a yard that could have been a beautiful garden, and nothing happens because you don't have this organizer who takes responsibility, And we started investigating this field of co-living. We travel around the world and investigated all kind of projects all around the world, in the east coast of the United States and in Europe, etc., etc. And just like you said, in 2017, we started our first building in Tel Aviv, in downtown Tel Aviv.
Where else but Tel Aviv?
Yeah, this is where it's just easier to start with new ideas. And back then we had partners who had this building and this opportunity. And and we're like kids in a playground. We didn't have a big budget. It's not like that Mode 37 in downtown Haifa. We had like really, really, really low budget, and we were like kids. We're playing.
You were social entrepreneurs. It was your first social entrepreneurial project, which is amazing.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Back then we had Professor Rafi Segal from MIT, who is the head of the Future Collective Lab in MIT in Boston. And he, while we were traveling the East Coast, we met him, and we were inspired by each other. And we took some brave decisions in the building in Tel Aviv, because everybody told us, the kitchen, how can you then make it communal? It can be, there's so many errors that can happen. But we went we went through the hard way, we went through the brave way, and we found all kind of managing methods that can make it possible. And we have in Tel Aviv, we had also the roof, when we had community garden, and we managed this building, and we saw it like a lab, like
a proof of concept.
Exactly, in a housing lab, and I think this is where we made many polls, and we talked with our tenants day after day, and we really got the method of how we can manage it in a way that will make profit, because we want people to get engaged. We don't want to do everything for them. We want them to empower them to do things by themselves. And yeah, I think the building is still there. It's still standing. Most of the tenants are still there. Some of them, like we had couples that got married and they had a baby, and we didn't have the right size of units, so they had to move on. But most of the tenants are still there. 2017, and it's Tel Aviv. People are moving. They change apartments like they change stocks. So,
absolutely.
And it's just amazing, because it's magic that happened there. People are really look at the building like they're another circle of life. They have a unit when they feel belong. And I think the most maybe excited times were the Corona, they were like their family. They're young professionals. By the way, like age 30. More or less, most of them around 30, 35, 28. This is their range, and yeah, they were like a family there.
I think when I saw that's when I met you and Eitan first. When I visited your place in Tel Aviv, and you felt exactly that. You walked through and you felt like it was a family. People were getting on with what they needed to get on with, and I think in today's times it can be extremely lonely living in a city as a young professional. Many people come to Israel from overseas and they work here for a couple of years. So living in this type of co-living concept, I think, appeals to lots of people. But explain to us exactly from a design and technical perspective, what does co-living actually mean for people watching? I mean, people have heard of co-workspaces, everyone watched WeWorks, so they understand the concept. Explain to us, what is the concept from an urban planning and a design perspective? What is co-living?
Well, so the concept is really simple. The concept says I don't need so much a private space if I have common spaces. Okay, so what my experience of living is really expanding rather than decreasing. So yeah. So we have all kind of units between around 18, I guess, to 35 meter, or in Atzmaut we have even 35 meters. But you have small units along shared spaces. Now, okay. In co-living, it usually would be in center urban areas, because you have a good transportation. And it's something that usually it happens in the big cities, and you will always have the management company. This is what we do. Communit with management company that we're doing the whole range from A to Z. The maintenance, of course, and also the community. So. Okay. Just like I said before, we don't want to have too many resources in the community. We empower people to give the community from their own.
And I guess for a lot of people, it's and we'll get to the benefits for the tenants, but the common areas are obviously areas that are kitted out with equipment and furniture, which sort of takes the burden off the tenant having to necessarily come in and provide that all for themselves. So I think that's also a major benefit. So talk to me a bit about those benefits, like, in terms of your market research, why are people choosing to live like this? What are the tenants saying? You had this proof of concept, and then since then you've rolled out a couple of other projects. We'll talk about the project in Downtown Haifa soon. what are tenants saying? How did you build this based on the feedback?
Well, first of all, the rent market in Israel is not really regulated. Like the country and the state are not really involved. So if you rent apartment in Israel, your life will probably not be so stable. Okay, because they can move you out every day. They can increase the rent. It's really Wild West.
You are at the disposal of your landlord.
Exactly. So I think this is one major thing in Israel. Once you have a company that gives you few years of hassle-free, this is a big thing. Yeah, I think this is number one. Number two, what you said before, the loneliness in cities. We understand that social media is just not enough. It's not. It gives us the thought.
The quick fix. The exactly. Quick fix that we've got lots of friends.
Exactly, but it's not working, especially, and it's even getting more stronger. The people that are for the city for short terms. For a year or two, students that are coming to, and so this gives them a lot of value, and I think it's some kind of a lifestyle, you know. Just like I said before, it's something you have a circle of belonging. You have your friends, you and your social interactions, but you have the building that you feel that you know the people, you know them, and they become another community that you belong to.
Right. There's someone to have Shabbat dinner with. There's someone to have a drink on the roof with. There's people around, which I think from a social aspect is really quite amazing. And I can
tell you this story about dinners, because I think, especially in Israel, I think all over the world, around the table, it's the best way to get people together. Because in the building in Tel Aviv, what we did in the beginning, it was a dinner here and there. It wasn't regulated, and then what we did, and we did every month, we're doing like a community night when they talk about things that bothers them, to ventilate and everything. And we used to order some pizzas or Chinese or something like that. And then we said, no, we're not going to do it so short. We're doing a long evening. Well, every time there's two tenants that are the chefs, and they order the ingredients. We pay for that, and they make, all the community make their dinners. And what it did also, it became beautiful night, long, beautiful night. They do what we say co-creation. They create the dinner together, they eat together, have long evening. And then what we saw, that they started cooking so much more by themselves. It became a culture in the building. And we monitor it because we have a gas tanks here for the cooking. So we saw we have like
the gas bill increase.
And they cook so much more because they cook together all the time now, and it's really amazing how it connects between people. So they're like small features that makes the difference.
That's incredible. It's got a great vibe, and certainly I've got daughters going into university, and I think if they had to live in Tel Aviv, it would be a great option for them to be in something like this. You talk about creating an impact. We spoke earlier, you guys are essentially at the heart of it, social entrepreneurs. In everything you do, it seems like there's a greater purpose, whether it's for an individual or whether it's for the community, which I think is amazing. And I think today people are looking for that. Tell us a bit about this idea of creating an impact in the neighborhood where these projects are.
Well, I see it in circles. I think when people are, first they have their core community inside the building, they care, they feel belong. So this is the first circle is your building, is your for example, in that small 37, it's the floor. So every floor is some kind of a unit, like a capsule. And then you have the shared areas in the building, like in the basement, we have a little gym, and we have cheder yeshivot, how you say,
like a lounge area, like a chill area.
Like a lounge area.
Yeah.
And also you have in the beautiful rooftop that you can see Mount Carmel and the Mediterranean Sea. And so we have, this gives us all the facilities to create the community. Once the community is integrated, by the way, we have 2 floors that are aiming for seniors.
Okay.
So they're gonna have their floors, and they will be integrated in the, it's intergenerational building. They will be integrated in the common spaces. And once we have a community, and we empower them to act around the building as well. For example, we did a few sessions with the area, with the municipality, because we are on the Port Street and Amal Street.
Are we talking, sorry, just to interrupt so people understand, we're talking about the new project in Downtown Haifa, which Julian will give a little bit more detail on the location. But again, you say you're right on the port. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, and we have so many bars and restaurants around there, but around our area, because we didn't finish our renovation. Once we're going to have the commerce there, this area also will rise. But until then, we are talking we made sessions with all our neighbors in this alley, in this street, and we brought them together with the municipality. And now we're working with the municipality to make them clean it better and make some events, and so we are creating this connection with the municipality to. That we can make an impact around the building as well, and our tenants will, when they use the area around the alley, around the street, it will be safer, it will be colorful, it will be, it will be alive.
Right, and I think we'll find out soon just how alive that downtown Haifa area has become. Super cool. And what I love about what you're saying about the concept is that the community can drive their own events as well. So, they can decide how to use the common spaces, which I think is so unique. And if you're introducing concepts around the area, which is the municipality in the area, I think it could be pretty cool. I know that in Tel Aviv, you showed me, you had an art gallery, an art project for local artists, which I think was amazing. So it's really nice to see using these beautiful common spaces that, that's going to overflow and impact the community. So we spoke a bit about, the fact that these communities are for young professional students, but seniors as well. How have you seen that interact? Like, have there been a lot of networking opportunities for work? Because I know a lot of people, there's some of these co-living spaces that are just about people in high tech, or so your communities, like you said, are a little bit more of a mixed bag. Have there been any examples where people have come there and moved on to jobs within the high tech industry, where they've come across those people within the community?
Well, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of because there are a lot of high tech companies that are aiming for the downtown Haifa, just like in Tel Aviv. High tech employees, they want to be in the hippest area and the best areas, and this is downtown Haifa. This is if you want to have a good lunch, or if you want to go catch a beer or anything. This is or see an event. This is where you go. So I'm sure we're going to have a lot of high tech employees, and yes, I really think that once we'll start populate the building, so it's we can maybe some of the floors will have some kind of common interests of tenants, and we will discover it while populating the building, I guess.
Amazing. Tell us about your connection with Hold Real Estate and this particular project. How did that come about?
Yeah, I think they just first of all I think Hold Real Estate, they're always looking for new opportunities and new ways of living. They always think outside the box. I met Dor Haddad. We met a long time ago, and we had a lot of common interests. and then Ari, of course, and I think that it really happened. We hooked up in the building in Tel Aviv when they saw the magic that happens there, and we said together we have to upscale it. We have to take this
build
magic
on it.
and yeah. So,
amazing. And when we're going to talk, we're going to move on to Julian soon. How is the construction going, and how far are you from completion?
And the construction is going really well now. It's and now you see all the inside, the interior is happening. So it's really, really exciting. The electricity,
it's all coming together.
It's all coming together. I guess a little bit of a year from now, a little bit less than a year.
Okay, amazing.
Which gives us exactly before the university, when the year starts. So it's
the new year.
Because we might have some students. And also lecture, around the academy, there's a lot of employees as well. So it's really, really a good time. Summer.
Right. Well, Shay, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to cross over to Julian soon. Please stay on the line. So we're going to come back with a couple of questions after. I know you're a very busy guy, so we appreciate your time. And I'm sure everyone who is watching this and is interested in this trend may want to, reach out, follow you. We will make your website available for people to go and have a look at your other projects. So thank you once again for your time, and we are extremely excited about the project. I'm looking forward to coming and chilling on the rooftop, having a glass of wine with some of the people in the community. Thank you so much.